No matter what, there are certain places that are always the best place to be. And the Pass the Wire annual Breeders' Cup seminar has always been one of them. And that's not going to change. But this year, we're going to do things a little bit differently. Yes, it's all about winning and trying to win and who gets the key to the AMG. So, what are we going to do? We're going to make a concise PDF that covers everything we normally cover in our seminars. We're still going to blast out of that gate and try and finish fastest of all. We are going to drive this thing like a fine-tuned race car, covering everything that matters. And if things work out, we're going to need a machine to count all the money so we can do some shopping at Cartier and Louis Vuitton. And if we win this battle, our significant others are going to look like this and be awfully happy. The first ever Pass the Wire annual Breeders' Cup report, a PDF specifically for you, and a private Q&A as well for everybody who rides with us.
If you are serious about horse racing or want to improve your game and level of play, or perhaps gain an edge without hours of work, you have to look at pace points. Pace makes the race, and projecting the race flow is invaluable for making smarter wagers. Pace Points is an accurate pace projection tool based on real-time fractions along with intangibles down to things like jockey tendencies and additional factors like post position, track condition, and more. Pace Points will help you identify who will be in front early and which horses will be running fastest late. If a race looks like there is a lot of speed, who will be the most likely leader? These are the types of things Pace Points highlight in an easy-to-read and understand format. If you want a better chance of winning, why wouldn't you want this at your fingertips? Pace Points, learn more, try it out, and have a better grasp of the races.
Ciao a tutti, tutto a posto. Thank you everybody for tuning in to another Thorograph show on Pass the Wire TV. We're going to look at the Clayborn Futurity for 2-year-olds at Keeneland on Saturday, mile on the 16th, around 2 turns, the first time for a lot of these horses. Not going to have a lot of numbers and patterns to go on, but I did that by design because we're trying to explore all different types of races. And, what do you do with Thorograph? How do you use Thorograph to help you when you got a race where everybody ran once or twice and they're all going 2 turns for the first time? So I figured it would make for an interesting discussion, and we'll find out if Pletcher's horse is, in a 1-horse race and everybody else is running for second, or if there may be some vulnerability there, or if he's not that much faster than everybody else in the race. So we'll get to that in a minute. Couple of things while we're getting started. And again, we'll run through this show fast like we do most of these Thorograph shows. And in the comments, let me know any races that you want to see the numbers and patterns on going forward. We had a little hiccup with getting the Thorographs for free for all of you. That's been ironed out, so you can now get the Thorographs for free for the Pass the Wire race of the week that we're going to do. So just go to the little Pass the Wire box on Thorograph, or the easiest way to find it is go to passthewire.com. There's Thorograph ads all over the place. Find one, click on it. It'll take you right to the page with that box on it. You click on that, you enter the email, you get a link to download the sheets for free right there. Free Thorographs. Why not? You got to be out of your mind not to do it. Or like I always say, you got to be crazy. Couple of things. Breeders' Cup is going to be here before we know it. One of the reasons I love Keeneland, and a lot of people love Keeneland in the fall, is we're getting a little bit of a glimpse into, Breeders' Cup horses. And in the race we're doing today, we may be seeing, Derby type horses for next year. But certainly in the fall at Keeneland, we've got Breeders' Cup implications and ramifications and clues and tidbits all over the place. So it's a great meet to pay attention to and take notes at. Um, I'm curious what the stats are for, past several years, horses that raced at the Keeneland Fall Meet, winning a Breeders' Cup race about a month later. You saw the commercial before we started the show. The Breeders' Cup seminar is now a report and seminar kind of combined, because we're going to have our interactive Q&A, but you're also going to have a PDF that you can print out, bring with you, look at it on your phone, on your laptop, on your iPad, tablet, whatever the case may be. Again, print it out with all the notes, all the horses I like, all the horses I don't like, key betting angles, horses to bet against, and why. A lot of information, a lot of work goes into it, and it's going to be everything that we cover at the seminar and more. Also have a private Q&A like this, only where you can ask me questions for the people that get a reservation and are on board with us, where we can talk about anything, ask me anything, and get even more detailed as to some of my reasoning, or maybe a horse I don't like that you want to ask me about, or I do like, or whatever the case may be. All kinds of questions come up in these Q&As. So, it's literally an ask me anything, but we'll limit this one to the Breeders' Cup because it's going to be Breeders' Cup week. Not drinking shortbread coffee right now, a little Gatorade, but that's okay. But the zero one, the good one. So the other one's garbage. Gaboike for me. So you can grab a spot at the seminar. Gio is doing something a little bit different. He's doing his select plays and best bets at the Keeneland meet. That's up on PastTheWire.com, along with the link to get a reservation for our seminar/report. And we finally ironed out all the kinks, I hope. Pace Points is available on PastTheWire.com. There's a whole Pace Points page that'll tell you what it is, how to use it if you don't know or have not been, riding with us for a while, or if you're not a Track and Trips member. Check it out. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not, but it's a really, really good tool to help you identify who's going to be running fastest early and who's going to be running fastest late. And we all do know that pace makes the race. And it's going to be really tricky deciphering the pace in the Claiborne Breeders Futurity with all these horses stretching out. It's pretty much going to turn into a grab bag. But let's take a look at the numbers in this race and see what kind of clues they give us. We already know who's going to be the fastest horse, but let's see how much faster and, just where we're at. Okay. From the rail, we got from Ken McPeak, Blackout Time. Blackout Time got a really nice pattern and some really, really nice numbers for a 2-year-old. 8.5 at Churchill Downs, 7.5 just about a month later at Ellis Park. Now he's about 6 weeks, maybe 5 weeks into, no more. 4, 8, about 8-9 weeks off. So he's had a chance to grow up a little bit. So we got that 8.5, 7.5. Definitely a forward moving horse. Probably 5-4, something like that. Is that going to be good enough? Okay, Big Dom for Thomas Amos was green first time out at Saratoga and still ran a 6. Fast race. So we got 2 fast horses, and I know it's a stake and we expect fast horses even for 2-year-olds, but this is really fast. Okay, moving right along. I'm going to try not to butcher this name. DCSET. I'm saying it I'm saying it wrong for sure. DiCiasetti. DiCiasetti. Well, it's got Setti's last name in it, so if you believe in hunches, there you go. I don't, you may. Patrick Bean Cohn, who's had some nice 2-year-olds the past couple of years. That Lenny Lou seemed to come back really good. That horse probably be in the Breeders' Cup after a trip to Ascot and a layoff. But what do we got here? Here we got a Gulfstream Park shipper. It doesn't seem to be as fast as the others. 13 and a half, 11 and a quarter. Going forward for sure, but he's got to go a lot more forward than the other two we already looked at. So I would say he's another one going forward, but he's got a little bit more to do than the others. Now, Spice Runner, a horse that we caught and liked as a dangerous horse on the Thorograph show last time out, and he jumped up and won. 15, 16 and 3/4, 10, 8.5. Okay. Where's he going? Well, I'm not so sure to say he's going forward because we got 15, 16 and 3/4. He regresses. Then he goes to 10, a little bit off a layoff. Now he goes 8.5. So he's got a top. Looks like he's going forward, but he did regress a little bit off his first race. So now we got a new top, and that suggests that maybe a hard race might make him regress a little bit. That said, even if he doesn't and goes forward or runs close to the same number, it's not fast enough in my opinion. Now, not to hedge, because I don't hedge when I bet, but I like to point out everything that is relevant. Stretching out in around 2 turns, for a lot of these horses, the first time can negate a lot of these things and change things up. So there's always a curveball to be eyeing when you're standing in the batter's box in horse racing. Another interesting one. Bob Baffert comes from out west. Horse runs twice at Belmont, now winds up here. Bob doesn't come for the scenery. This horse runs twice at Belmont, 8, 7.5. Fast, right there with all the others. Creeping forward, that slow, steady progression that I like. Only 2 starts, move forward, and I would say he's going to probably go forward again. And Bob is very good, going 2 turns for the first time. Now we come to the horse that, going to be the favorite and going to be the Buzz horse. This is the horse that everybody's going to be watching. Spendthrift Farm Into Mischief, one of the longtime sponsor of Past the Wire TV. We love Spendthrift. We love Into Mischief. We are always rooting for their horses. They need no introduction. Into Mischief needs no introduction. What do we got? We got 9.5 at Saratoga. Then he runs that monster stake, and he runs a 1. Lights out over everybody in the race. Runs anything back to that, runs that 1, goes forward off of that. The race is indeed for second. That said, you got a 2-year-old coming off a 1, coming off an 8-point forward move, going 2 turns for the first time at Keeneland. If he clears off and goes on cruise control and they go slow, yeah, I think tough to beat. But if he hits any adversity at all, or gets any challenge for the pace, I would say there's a likelihood that he regresses off that 1. Now, sometimes these horses are just real good and they haven't bottomed out yet, but that's not a pattern I love. And I could be wrong, and real good horse can humble you and embarrass you all the time. But I like, and most of you that have been watching these shows know that I prefer the slow, steady progression. I would have preferred 5, 3, and then what do we got today? 9.5, 1, boom, big jump forward. I'm leery. I'm leery. Probably win by 10, be the early favorite for the Kentucky Derby. I don't give a shit. I'm leery. That's just me, leery on this horse. And again, obviously the most likely winner going to be odds on, but they still got to run the race, and he's coming off a 8-point forward jump. I don't know. There's other patterns I like better. Not as fast, but other patterns I like better. Now, if he had run close to that one before and had a couple of more numbers to go by, I might say it's no problem. He can run those numbers, and that's just who he is. I don't know that yet, so stay tuned. We'll all know it Saturday afternoon. Ewing, who was visually impressive, but not really that impressive on the numbers. He's got 2 starts. He paired 10s. He's had some time. But again, 10 is not where you want to build off to win this race, even if he goes forward. Not likely to me. So that's the field. So we'll recap it a little bit and see if we got anything good. Blackout time, going the right way, 8.5, 7.5, creeping forward, but probably has a little bit more to do than some of the others, but not much. Big Dom run a 6. Goes forward off that, and Ted Nafi comes back a little bit. They're right there together. I think that's a reasonable thing to wager on, in my opinion. Patrick being Cohen's horse looked like he was too slow. DC Asset, whatever. No disrespect, man. I butcher names all the time. Most of you know that. Going forward, but looks like he's got just too much forward to do. Spice Runner wasn't sure about. Didn't think that he was going to be fast enough, even if he went forward, and wasn't sure that he was going to. Litmus Test, very interesting, not only because it's Bob, but just, 8, 7, kind of like McPeak's horse. Not quite as fast as Amos's horse, but, Bob coming cross country, Flavien Pratt riding always, demands a little longer extra look. Ted Nafi, fast, favorite, legitimate, but there is a question mark, and I hate taking really short price horses when there's a question mark. And again, I'm not saying don't single them, don't wrap your pick 5 or pick 6 or pick 4 around them. If you're a believer, I'm just not a believer yet. I may be later. But I don't mind taking a shot against a horse that I think has a chance to regress, and I think some have a chance to go forward. And again, the 2 turns may help him and may not. He's bred, well enough by Into Mischief to handle a mile on the 16th, no problem. And again, if he clears, that's a tremendous edge for him. But they got to put him in the gate. You got horses coming out of sprints, so you don't know. Ewing was one off those paired 10s. I thought was going to lead a little bit more. So I'm eliminating him. I'm eliminating Spice Runner. I'm eliminating DC Assetti. I'm eliminating. That's it. Blackout Time, I think, has a chance. Big Dom, I think, has a chance. Litmus Test, I think, has a chance, and Ted Nafi, I think, has a chance. So we eliminated a couple, and there were a couple we're going to still have to decipher. So again, what I do now, and I don't always do the Thorograph numbers before I handicap the race. I do on a lot of these shows just because of the timing of it. But now I watch the replays, I handicap the race, I try and figure the pace out. It'll be a little bit easier for me now because we got pace points going, but try and figure out the pace, who's going to be running when, who's going to be running early, who's going to be running late, who's going to benefit from the way the pace looks and from that extra distance and the 2 turns. So we make a final decision based on that. But I think we tossed a couple, And I think, win, lose, or draw, I think we saw a very fast horse who made a very big forward move that, may just be lights out faster than these, but may have some vulnerability and maybe possibly, have some regress or bounce in them. And again, I don't, and this is just me, I don't like to take a horse that I think can possibly bounce at a very short price. I like to take a horse at a short price. I don't ever like to take a horse at a short price, but if I'm going to take a horse on a short price, I like to know that he's going forward, or at least steady as a rock. So that's my take on the Claiborne Breeders Futurity. Thank you all for tuning in. Let me know in the comments if you agree. A lot of you might think that this horse is a cinch. Let me know. I'm curious to see what the masses think, or if some people tend to agree with me that big jump leads to a potential bounce candidate. Maybe I'm just being overly skeptical. We'll find out soon enough. But let me know what you all think in the comments. Hit the like button. We're the channel Past the Wire TV. We're up to over 8,000 subscribers and counting. We get about 30, 40 a week. New people climbing on board. Share us. Show some love. We're trying to get. I would love to. It's going to be difficult. I get it, but we're not for everybody, and everybody's not for us. I get it, but I'd love to get to 10,000 subscribers by the Breeders' Cup, which is about a month away. That would be a phenomenal milestone for our channel to get to. And we're putting out a lot of content, so, and covering all kinds of stuff. So it's not impossible. It's just going to be a little bit challenging. But if you could help, much obliged. We're launching a new store with some, cool stuff in that as well. That's coming out soon. So a lot going on. We'll be heading out west soon enough for the Breeders' Cup. We'll be there all week scoping stuff out. And everything we do for our Past the Wire people, to try and help make all of you a better. That's what we try and do. And hopefully we're successful at it. So thank you, everybody. Enough rambling by me. Enjoy your dinners. Enjoy your weekend. A lot more stuff coming. Pay the Rent with Charles Trent already has a show up. I think him and Nice Guy Eddie C are doing another show. Gio's got his stuff up. Of course, on the website, we got all the news and the previews and the this, that, and the other thing, everything else that you're going to want to see. But check it out. The Breeders' Cup seminar report combination. I think that commercial is awesome. Thank you, Big Race Jim. But that's all we got for now. So ciao.
Here comes journalism, here comes sovereignty, and they square off, heading to the final for sovereignty wins the Derby!
You're watching Past the Wire TV. Hit that like button and subscribe to Past the Wire TV. Nobody does it better.
Sure, bad coffee.
Are they talking about us? Shh. Wait. Are they talking about us? I think I heard Past the Wire. Past the Wire TV. They are talking about us. Often imitated, never duplicated. We are everywhere.
Seriously? If you're betting horses and not watching these shows, you gotta be freaking crazy. Capiche?
You're watching Past the Wire TV.
And ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the winner's circle for a very special presentation. Representatives from Handicapping for Horses, along with professional handicapper Jonathan Stetton, are proud to support the work of the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance and Old Friends. Accepting the check for the inaugural Handicapping for Horses event this past summer at Saratoga are representatives from the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance and Old Friends. Gulfstream Park welcomes Michael Blowen, Jonathan Stetton, Kelly Stovey, Jim Rhodes here this afternoon. Since 2012, the TAA has awarded more than $17.2 million to accredited organizations. Handicapping for Horses looks to make their Saratoga Springs event larger and raise money for Thoroughbreds Aftercare year after year. Once again, thank you to Handicapping for Horses, Jonathan Stetton, and welcome to Old Friends and our friends at the TAA. The Rainbow Six and race number 5 up next.
And they're off in the Kentucky Derby.
You're watching Past the Wire TV, the biggest races at the best tracks. From the Kentucky Derby to the Breeders' Cup. The best horse racing coverage is right here on Past the Wire TV.
Dynasty in motion, reshaping the sport's greatest tradition, channeling the legends of his line and surpassing them. 4 of the last 6 Derby winners carry his genes. A Golden Son, a Horse of the Year. Another chapter written beneath those iconic spires. Derby dreams fulfilled for the titans of our industry. From authentic to sovereignty, a legacy both real and supreme. Into mischief.
Everybody, Dan Oman here with some exciting news. DRF Formulator, the gold standard in past performance information, is now free, exclusively on DRF Bets. Join DRF Bets with the promo code WINNING, get a $250 first deposit match bonus, a $10 free bet, and free Formulator already uploaded to your account. Access Formulator's premium features, including sortable trainer stats, race replays, personalized trip notes, and lots more. Free Formulator, exclusively on DRF Bets.
Here comes journalism, here comes sovereignty, and they square off, head into the final furlong. Sovereignty wins the Derby!
You're watching Past the Wire TV. Hit that like button and subscribe to Past the Wire TV. Nobody does it better.
It's not a matter of getting down. How low can you go? Nobody does it better.